So I learned of the Human Rights Tribunal quite a bit late. So by the time I heard about it and attempted to do it, it was just kind of a mess against the hospital because I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but they had done a bunch of malicious things against me, including uploading all my information for the public. And eventually my small claims case got closed, and it was a lot on me. So by the time I did do the Human Rights Tribunal, I got told something about it has to be within a year or two. I can't remember exactly of the last incident. And the hospital had continuously just written me off for their false documentations in my health record. They would rely on their false information they put in there. So it was always a mess because they were too quick to be like, ooh, it can't be what she's saying, that there's something physically wrong, like her throat and swallowing issues, like she's saying. Even when they had said, ooh, yeah, your lymph nodes are swollen, but then they'd still brush me off as it's anxiety or it's this or that. They would always try and link it to some mental illness that didn't exist. And so long story short, turned out it was my thyroid, and I have a nodule, which is right here. It grew, obviously, with them writing me off constantly for years, even though I went in with a lot of obvious symptoms, and they didn't do anything for me. They just kept writing me off. Until this grew to where I was like, so I went to someone else, and was like, so this happened now. And then they're like, oh yeah, so they did an ultrasound, seeing it was huge. And not just the nodule, but also my thyroid itself was huge. So that was the thing. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the power to go forward because I didn't know anything about the Human Rights Tribunal, and I had already used all my mental capacity and stress and everything for years of fighting with the hospital and small claims. I was just worn out. I had a fire since then, and then I had so much homeless bouncing around, and then I finally got a place. I was just exhausted. I knew I couldn't go and learn everything, and it was a lot harder to figure that stuff out than it was the small claims stuff. So I am really upset. They basically got away with it. My health record is a mess because of them. There's so many fabrications and lies and just cover-ups in there, and now it claims that I was there voluntarily in 2021 when it wasn't, just to hide their, false imprisonment of me, i.e. kidnapping. So yeah, I'm really sad that individuals like me who are victims of that type of abuse by hospitals and facilities just get away with it because they have more power and they bully you, and I was a lot. So that's how things are. That's how things ended. I did a last minute dish, I had it all written out, so I didn't have to think about it after the small claims for that. I feel like I'm gonna say it wrong. Abundanceman. Yeah, I've seen so many negative reviews for it, and it made sense with everything I went through before. It was bad. They didn't do anything. They were just quick to want it to be done. So I feel like that's just going to be the same. But I was like, I went so far, tortured myself for years of trying to get any ounce any ounce of justice for myself, and failed. I might as well just do that just so I can say I did try every angle. So just for myself. So that's out there. Whether it'll work out, at least I did it. So that's my update for everything. It's a very sad update. I wish there was justice for me and everybody who gets abused in those systems. I wasn't even mentally ill. I just had food poisoning, and I really wish they had let me go home, listen to me or my family. Instead, I got tortured for days, and I got hit in the chest and abused by their staff. And then, medication abuse, secretly crushing stuff in my juice I didn't know, which was making things worse. And so, thankfully, that wore off weeks later once I was home and safe. But that wasn't fun, because when your brain doesn't need that, it really F's you up. Like, it's not nice. And I feel so bad for anybody else who's done that. And I was really hoping this would be like at least some sort of slap on the wrist to make it so it at least is way less likely to happen to anyone ever again. I'm sorry I failed. That's not my fault. I did try. And I made videos kind of like as a comfort for myself, just to be heard. So, so that's basically my final update, I guess, for the whole hospital situation of me trying. Yeah, so thanks for anyone who's ever listened, and has been kind and supportive, like, and even if you weren't, like, as long as you didn't leave any negative comments, or, like, I really appreciate that, especially when it still affects me to this day. PTSD, going from not having that to suddenly having it, still really messes with me. Like, it's so hard to be like, I can't explain it. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and I don't want to cry, so I'm gonna end it now. Bye. So, this is a quick thing I wanted to add. This is one of the issues, is mom's lesbian mom beats them all, when that doesn't really make sense at all. But yeah, obviously not suicidal, which is great. But this is in there in my health record by a doctor. Who does that? And there's nothing I could do about that. It's just in there. And I have to say allegedly, because, but allegedly he has had issues with and yeah, so, and not just that, but, the other communities too, of the LGBT. But that was according to my mom, at least, because I guess he was my family doctor when I was a kid. But yeah, and that was one of the things I wanted to put in for the tribunal, because it was discrimination. So that really sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it now. But I can't really show other stuff from my health records, because I think, that would be a legal issue, even though it's mine. But yeah, so that's that.